You're kicking it with us live on WJZZ Live TV. We're cool, just like that. And how is everybody this evening? Stace, how you doing?
Stacy is terrible.
What's wrong?
Oh my God. Woo. Um, I have really been rushing.
Okay,
I had to go up the stairs extra fast on this bad knee. I
okay,
just had my meniscus surgery on October 17th.
right.
So I'm in recovery. I was on crutches and then I was on a cane. And I'm just rushing. We come all the way from Genesee County to do kicking it with Steve and Stacy. So we start out at like 4:30, and my cousin is in a rehab from recover from a stroke. So I promised him I was gonna stop and get him some whatever food he wanted. He wanted Taco Bell.
Okay,
So while we were on the freeway, I was trying to decide should I go to the one on Telegraph and 12 Mile. So I went in my GPS and I saw that there was one in Berkeley. So we went to the one in Berkeley. I got his food. But it's just really been a rush. But I don't know. Sometimes it's like that with me because I try to do so much for so many different people. And I promised myself that I'm going to have to slow down
yes.
because even though, I get a lot done, sometimes I feel like I'm pushing myself too much. And I'm pushing myself too much, and I don't know. Sometimes I just don't have enough time for myself,
Okay,
and I don't like to rush.
right.
So sometimes when I find myself rushing, um, that's when I find myself getting anxiety,
Yeah,
and then my breathing speeds up, and my palms start sweating. So even though I try to do a lot, I try to fit everybody in and I just try to help everybody. Um, yeah,
you're
sometimes.
human.
I am, but I don't think about it like that because I think about if I'm helping somebody, they need more help than me, so I got to help them because who would I be if I didn't help them?
Right.
So that's my philosophy and that's the way my mind works. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So, but I'm good.
okay, okay.
How are you?
I am very good. And we've been hanging out today, so I got to
Yes.
see her. We talked earlier this morning because we had some clothes donated to us to give away, help the homeless. And we hadn't sorted through them, so we finally got together today, sorted through all the stuff. And we took it to a shelter and donated it to the homeless. Now, I was supposed to take pictures. Actually, I was supposed to take a video, but I didn't have it on. I'm talking like I'm really doing my thing. And when I gave the phone to Stacy, she said, "This thing isn't even on." And so we have a little feed of that, but not a whole lot. So we'll share that with you online.
So the shelter we donated to was Carriage Town Ministries in Flint. So if anybody has anything that they would like to donate, they do accept gently used clothing. It has to be clean. Doesn't have to be folded. I mean, your kids' old clothes, your old clothes. Um, they do accept new items. They do accept new toiletries. So they help both men, women, and children. So
Yeah.
we took like what was it 8 bags, 9 bags,
It was quite a few, at least nine, I think.
9 bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our plan and goal was to split them and give half away in Flint and half away from Detroit because we're both from Detroit living in Flint.
Flint Township.
Right, but we're rushing so much today that we didn't really have a chance to do much. So we just dropped it off to those who would best facilitate us and help others in need.
Yeah, and we still got some stuff for men because we got like probably about 20 or 30 men's sweaters.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get down to Detroit and help the homeless. But I'm gonna shout out my doctor's office, Dr. Marquardt, at Michigan. orthopedic specialist.
Okay.
And Graham Blank, I spoke to him and his office manager. So his office manager got a lot of stuff together for us. So I just want to tell everybody thank you, and we really appreciate you for helping us while we try to help the homeless and the less fortunate. So my question for you is, what's everybody doing for Christmas?
Great idea. A great question, actually. Now, do
Yeah.
you all have anything special planned?
Um, we invited um, a couple of friends up, so they're gonna come for dinner. But I don't know. We're just laid back.
Okay. Yeah. We do a big family thing. And so basically every year, being that Peggy's mom is up in age, she's definitely in those twilight years, like 94, 95 years old. We spend the holidays with her, Christmas with her. And so that's what everybody do. They'll gather,
That's so cool.
eat, have a lot of laughs, good conversation, and exchange a few gifts.
That's cool. Last year we went to my husband's niece's house for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Okay.
When I tell you it was so good, oh my God, they're all country from Mississippi. So when I tell you these good sisters was
Yeah.
cooking up some
Oh, I
stuff,
bet.
I'm talking about it was like a banquet table, a card table, and then the kitchen counters
Full of food.
full of food. They had everything. So I paced myself
Right.
because I'm a real foodie.
Yes.
So when I went in there, I was like, okay, well, first of all, I'm going to get all my little vegetables. And after I finished, I went back and got the meat. But it was just so good. And the hospitality was good. They're all super sweet. I'm just meeting them. But her house, the heat was on 80. I was like, Lord.
Too high.
No, not today. I was just like, and I don't know what it is, but it's like when I'm in an environment and it's like extra hot like that, it's like I can't function. I mean, I start sweating, like even on the show with these lights, I'm like, ooh, I just start sweating. Maybe I should have brought a fan.
Yeah.
But
You can
Yeah.
always take that and use it as a fan. I got your back.
yes, everybody there is just so sweet, and the food was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, we're just like, I don't know, we're just like really laid back and really relaxed. And we're just like so into each other, you know what I'm saying? We always finding something to do. And we just moved in, so we left from a 2-story, 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, new build.
Okay.
And it was like probably a little over 2,000 square feet. So now we have a ranch with the professionally finished basement. So now we have 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms.
Okay.
And we have a 3-car garage. But we combined 2 households into one.
Right.
So I brought the stuff from my place, and the stuff from his place. So what we had to do is we had to start off with a storage unit because we needed to declutter his place because he had been there.
Right.
He was the very first person that moved in there. It was a new build. But so we're still like in the process of clearing that garage out because up until like Thanksgiving, all 3 bays were filled with different things, boxes. So, we just work on that slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So we finally got enough space for one of the cars to go into the garage. But yeah, we're just taking it easy.
Yeah. And which car went in the garage?
The Cadillac, of course.
Always take care of that Cadillac.
Yes. I know it felt sort of let down out in the cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's the end of a year.
Yes.
This is December.
Mhm.
And we really like mid-December. So in a couple weeks, we hit Christmas, New Year's, and then we're into a brand new year. And so I'm wondering, how introspective does everybody get this time of year? How introspective do you get? Do you do a lot of soul searching? Do you go deep? And how deep?
Ooh, okay, so I go super deep. I do a lot of soul searching, and if you pay attention to my Facebook page, I think like today I posted something like we got 18 days into 2024.
Right.
Personally, I don't feel like enough people think about what they did in that year and what they're going to do in the next year and the stuff that they're going to leave back in this year.
Mm.
You know, because why take stuff, especially if it's not benefiting you, if it's not enhancing your life, why take it into 2024?
Right.
I'm talking about everything.
Yeah, great
Relationships, situations, investments, conversations, whatever. Yeah. So this morning I posted, good morning, we have 19 days until we enter a new year. 2024 is upon us, and I'm eagerly awaiting it. 5 things to stop doing before the new year begins.
Okay.
You ready for number 1?
I'm ready.
So these are the 5 things to stop doing before the new year is upon us. So number 1 is stop diluting who you are to make others comfortable. Stop. Because I'm telling you, no matter how you dilute yourself, how you play yourself down, they're still going to hate you. And it's like you can't take away from yourself to make somebody else feel comfortable.
Right.
And if somebody expects that out of you, you might want to rethink that relationship. So number 2 is stop explaining yourself to irrelevant people who think the worst of you anyway. Just stop. But you know what? You know, I might need to give a little side chatter to that.
Okay.
So,
Stop explaining yourself
yes.
to irrelevant people.
Yes. Oh,
So now, do you want to expound on that a little?
I am. So, stop explaining yourself to irrelevant people who think the worst of you anyway. So you know somebody don't care for you.
Okay.
And that's fine because at the end of the day, what I need people to realize is everybody is not going to like you.
That's very
Everybody
true.
is not going to care for you. Everybody is not going to be, you know what I'm saying, smiling and kikiing and inviting you to lunch. I mean, you know, they may speak to you, but everybody is just, you know, I just put it really candidly. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Well, no one is.
Exactly. But, you know, some people feel like everybody should like them, everybody should be inviting them, everybody should be welcoming them. And I have to tell them, everybody is not going to care for you.
Mm.
And then the next question comes, they're like, why not? And I'm like, it doesn't matter why. I'm like, I'm just brutally honest. It doesn't matter why they don't like you. It doesn't matter, you know, why they don't care for you. It doesn't matter why they don't talk to you. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, all that really matters is you liking yourself.
Right.
How about that? You like yourself. Because any number of people could not care for you for any number of reasons. But check this out. By the time you start thinking about that, do you know how much time and energy you wasted? Do you know how many $1 million business plans you could have come up with? But oh no, you want to sit up and wonder why people don't like you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Think about it.
Well, I think there's a certain type of personality that you want to be all things to all people.
Who?
Some people.
Okay.
These are personalities.
Okay.
Because I've gone through that phase. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to be so liked, so well respected in every group or all the individuals that you meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so you try to become all things to all people, which means you have to be very versatile and you have to adjust. But what you end up doing is being kind of fake and phony.
And drive yourself crazy
Because you're flipping the script constantly to appease, to please. And at the end of the day, you're just worn out, you know. And I think I've gone through that. I must have been in my 20s, maybe early 30s, And I'm just trying my best to be everything I need to be in a situation with thousands of personalities. You got an astronomical variety of personalities, and everybody's demands something different. And when you're well known, well recognized, you're dealing with all these folks. You're trying to do your best to appease, to please, to make things happen, and in prison stay safe. But as I said, you get totally worn out at the end of the day. So, getting back to your number three, I think.
Okay, so number 3 is stop being part of the clique and strike out on your own. I'm gonna tell you, I have a personal problem with this because I was just never part of the clique. I just did things a different way. First of all, I had to grow up too fast.
Okay.
My mother started abusing drugs when I was 12 years old, so I had to grow up really fast. I can remember jumping in a 1976 Cadillac in 1978 when I was 12 years old, and going to Highland Park and going to Michigan Bell when it was Michigan Bell.
Right.
And paying the phone bill and going across the street to Detroit Edison and paying the light bill. I mean, I can just remember growing up so fast. So it was like I really didn't have anything in common, like with my peers.
Mm.
And I didn't hang out. I
Okay.
didn't go skating. I didn't go and have fun. And it was a drastic change because I can remember growing up in my mother's neighborhood. We lived really close to Palmer Park. And like the whole group of us, we would stay out playing kick the can and red light, green light, and Simon Says, and the street lights come on, we were running the house. I can remember all of us grabbing a towel and just walking up to Palmer Park to go swimming. But in 78 when that happened with my mother, I was 12 years old, so I can remember having to flip the script really quick so I could take care of business because number one, my mother didn't want anybody in our family to know she was using drugs. And
Right.
I mean, I had a family where you kept that in the house. But yeah, so anyways, I had to grow up really quick, and that part of the clique, I was just never part of the clique. And as I grew and I learned, what it was all about, I discovered psychologically being a part of the clique is being like having that gang mentality. You know what I'm saying? The herd mentality.
Mm.
Like I got friends who'll call me and say, "What you doing today?" Or, "Hey, what's up? Well, what's going on?" Or, yo, you want to get together with some friends? It's just they always have to be with a group.
Right.
They don't do anything by themselves. Like me, I'll jump on a plane and go out of town by myself and have a ball.
Yeah.
But some people, they have to be in a clique. They have to, I don't know, it's like, like a wolf pack.
Mm.
And I just feel like, stop being part of the clique and strike out on your own because you never know who you are if you don't strike out on your own to do something that you want to do or to make something happen,
Right.
So, number 4 is stop normalizing institutionalization.
Explain that, please.
So many people out here are straight up institutionalized, and it just irks my soul. I just feel like some situations, that I may be in, it's almost like the chicks in the day room.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
for the listeners, you might need to explain that.
Okay.
Some of them haven't been in the day room.
I'm so glad you brought that to my attention. So, the day room is where, when you got out of your room after count time, that's the day room is where you will go. I feel like, personally, the Michigan Department of Correction was setting them up because everything went down in the day room. That's where you passed your contraband off. That's where you played pinochle. That's where the fights went down sometimes. Um, The day room was where it went down.
Okay, so now describe the day room. It's
Okay, so the day room probably had anywhere between 20 and 40 tables
okay.
with 4 chairs to each table.
Okay.
And then some day rooms, you got the TV mounted to the wall. And then you got an ironing board in one area. And then you got a desk with a straightening comb and a hot plate bolted to the table. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it goes down there.
Right.
You can do everything from watch TV, iron your clothes, get your hair pressed.
So aside from the yard, and I think everybody's heard about the yard and the back 40 and all that. Aside from the yard, the day room
Right.
is kind of like the congregation spot.
Yes.
You know.
I hated the day room. I never went in the day room because it's like they didn't have no type of volume control. It was always loud.
Right.
And the TV was always up on high. And for a minute, they could even bring radios into the day room. So that was no. Mm-mm. So then I remember we went to a different facility. So now they got a separate day room. Then they got a separate grooming room. And then they even had a separate study. So the study was quiet. It was cool in the study.
Okay.
And then the grooming room is where the hot plate was bolted down to the desk. And you had to check the straightening combs and the curlers in and out at the officer station.
Okay.
And then it was a separate day room. But,
Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, stop normalizing institutionalization because I just feel like some of my sisters and brothers is out here still living like they behind the walls. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the mentality. I know everybody didn't even bother, to go to therapy and to change their mindset. And a lot of people really feel like they're still fine. From where you were before you went in, while you were in, and now you back out here. And I'm going to tell you, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Because you have to change, you have to grow, you have to evolve. But some people are not with it. They feel like they are fine, they don't need no therapy, and you the one crazy for bringing it to their attention.
Okay. So that's normalizing institutionalization.
Yes, like it's okay. No, it's not okay, and you need to tell them it's not okay. But then when I say something like that, they're like, "Oh, Stacy, come on now," and I'm like, "Stacy, come on." But so number 5 is stop people pleasing. Yeah, and I can really relate to that one because I said before that once upon a time I was a people pleaser. Because my mother physically abused me, so would have to try to find ways to be extra nice to her, to just do things, to make her happy, so she wouldn't be, mad with the attitude, so I wouldn't get a whooping. So that was learned behavior for me, and I grew up being a people pleaser,
Okay.
and it was horrible. It was, yeah, it was not good. So we really need to stop people pleasing. And one of my quotes is, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who spitefully use you.
Okay. Biblical.
Yeah, but when I have, like, some of my girlfriends, like, every time I post something, I got this one girlfriend that inbox me every time. I got this one girlfriend who will call me. And sometimes I'd be like, Stacey, you on some real bullshit with this one. And, then we have an open discussion about it.
Right.
And like I told them, I'm not going to keep being mad at people. Okay, you pissed me off. Okay, you didn't pay me my money back. Okay, you did something super shady, and okay, you did that. But why would I hold on to that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's something you did to me. And at some point in your life, you have to develop emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So you can just like say, what am I going to do? So I had to trick myself because I used to be the queen of vengeance. I felt like if you do something to me, I'm going to do something back to you.
Right.
But I'm going to do something back to you worse. But you got to stop that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got to pray. You really got to stop that because I was really bad with it. I'm talking about I was super bad. I was horrible with it. And I didn't care. And I didn't hide it because I wanted you to know that I got you back.
Right. And you're kicking it with Steve and Stacy. You're watching Steve and Stacy live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, hit the subscribe button. And thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
So yes, I was a queen of vengeance, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was cute. I just thought that I was the queen of the get back.
See, now I watch you today, and I see none of that. I mean, we've been hanging out most of the day,
All day.
right? And I see you and the husband Henry, who's my guy. I see y'all bantering back and forth, and I'm like, this is just amazing. One of my favorite couples. I just watched them and I laughed because they tickle me. But it's like none of that early hostility, none of that anger. I don't see any of it, not a trace.
Oh, and I was hostile.
And so,
yeah.
so my question is, and maybe this will help someone else, is how do you get rid of that anger, that stance, that need to constantly be contentious and to fight and, somebody gets you, I'm going to get them back. How do you rid yourself of that, or how did you rid yourself of that?
First of all, you gotta grow.
Okay.
You gotta grow because I knew that I was coming back home. I didn't know when, but I knew I was coming back home. And I had a lot of people who were there supporting me 100%. They wanted me to come home. I had a job waiting for me. I just had a whole life out here waiting for me. And I probably started rethinking everything when I lost my mother in 1995.
Okay.
So I went in 87. Ooh, that was 8 years. But yeah, that was really, really terrible. But when I lost my mother, that really impacted me.
Okay.
And I just started rethinking my life. And at some point you have to tell yourself, enough is enough.
Yes.
Period. Enough is enough. What are you gonna do? You just gonna keep doing this?
All right.
You want to keep getting good at this?
Right. And because what does it lead to in the end?
Exactly. So I just really started getting more in tune with myself.
Okay.
And it was the best thing I could have ever did.
Mm.
Because like I said, I was a dressed up garbage can. I was a master manipulator. I was a flawless liar. I could talk you out of your socks without even taking your shoes off.
Oh man.
And, and I was horrible. I was a reckless sinner.
Right.
I'm talking about a dressed up garbage can. So just imagine, fine as wine on the outside, talking that talk, making you believe everything. I could have sold you the Brooklyn Bridge, and you'd have been like, "Where my deed at?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for real, that's some weak shit.
Right.
It is. It's weak. When you got to manipulate somebody, that's weak. And I would look for the weakest ones to manipulate because they were the easiest ones.
Yeah.
But when you start getting your shit together and you start thinking about it, that's really weak of you.
Mm. I remember you said something about you had written down a statement or something to that effect. And at the time, it put me in the mind of something that I did and had right above the cell door.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, you must do what you think you should do.
Mm-hmm.
That is the very essence of enlightenment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I put it there so that I'd see it every day
Mm-hmm.
and try to begin to establish a pattern
Mm-hmm.
of doing what I thought I should do.
Right.
Not what I may have needed to do,
Mm-hmm.
but what I thought I should do.
Period.
Because, you face a situation and it's ugly and you have to get ugly. That's what you have to do, or you need to do that.
Right.
But maybe you shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
And so I think that in trying to learn how to do what I should do,
Mm-hmm.
I began to think in different ways, how to handle situations differently, and it helped me to begin to win
Exactly.
because it's like I read so much and I gleaned so much from reading that I had to learn how to start putting it in application,
Right.
everyday life. And I'm running across such jewels that I didn't want everyone else to know. I kid you not, I was selfish.
Right.
And I'm growing at leaps and bounds, and
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm getting there, and I don't want everybody else to be on the same page. So I would put these books in a pillowcase and I'd throw them in the garbage can. And I think I told you, a couple of old heads saw me, and they approached me, and they said, "Man, don't do that. They said, don't ever throw books away." They said, "Nobody's gonna saw what you saw,
Right.
but everybody needs the opportunity to read these things. So start passing them out."
Right.
And that's what I began doing, sharing the wealth. Because you get to a point where you learn how to handle situations.
Right.
So say everybody in prison or everybody with sense that was in there read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. But nobody seemed to understand the gist of the book.
Right.
The whole gist was to win without going to war.
Period.
And so when I saw that and I came to understand it, I was like, oh, okay, there's a whole nother level of diplomacy that you must learn, how to handle people, how to diffuse situations, how to disarm. And if you get good at that, then no matter what the situation is, you can always find, for the most part, a way out. A way out without getting physical, without harming others, and without having harm done to your person.
Right.
And so that's kind of how I began to change. I don't need to get down in the dirt. All I need to do is learn how to understand people because people are the world,
Right.
right? Everything you got on, somebody made. The cars we drive, the shoes we put on, the clothes, the committees, everything is either made up of people or people make these things. And so I learned that if you learn how to deal with people, that there's no limit to what you can do.
And you know what I had to learn and what I had to teach myself?
Mm-hmm.
I needed to master being calm in any situation.
Okay.
I had to tame my tongue. I had to think before I spoke. And it was so beneficial to me
Mm.
because when I was confronted, I would test myself on not quickly responding.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just being quiet
Mm.
and just listening to what they had to say.
Right. Processing it.
Period.
Mm-hmm. And giving yourself an opportunity to respond appropriately.
Exactly. But do you see how many people don't do that? They want to
Oh,
fly
yeah.
straight off the handle.
Mm.
And it's like they don't even listen to respond. They just like listen to just to be able to say something back.
Yes. And speaking of anger, my stepson came over last night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's who car was in the driveway when we came back. Okay.
Right. And we talked about the situation that happened when he went to pick up his daughter and how angry he was. And remember I told him that he had a serious anger problem and needed to handle that. And we talked a little bit about anger. And I told him that I was the same way at one time. Very angry. But you have to learn how to deal with it. You may still get angry, not as angry, or not susceptible to your anger. You get upset and, like you said, get quiet. And that's what I did over the years. I would just get quiet as hell. Matter of fact, I couldn't talk. I'm so angry. I'm just shut down.
Right.
And I'd be like that for a couple days.
Oh, no, not a couple of
A
days.
couple days. And that was progress. It had been weeks. I'm talking about I'd be pissed off for weeks. And I'm thinking of every way that I can handle this situation, and some weird, crazy, ugly thoughts. But at the end of the day, I'd work it out. You know, it might take me a minute, but I'd get there. And as I grew older and matured, the time diminished. So it wouldn't be 3, 4 days. It might be 3, 4 hours. And now it's just a little while, and I'm okay. You know, because you're gonna get angry. You're gonna have disagreements and arguments, and people are gonna do things, and they are gonna hit you in places you don't want to get hit, and like a side to the gut.
Right.
Oh, you felt it, but this is a person you love or honor or respect.
Right.
They're angry about something and they take it out on you. You know, now you get pissed off. What are you going to do? Are you going to hurt them back? Or have you reached the point where, okay, I'll take my anger and I'll deal with it. And when I calm down and you calm down, I'll bring it up gently and we'll work it out just so that you can see that you may have been a bit wrong. You know, you may have done me wrong, but I'm not going to do the same thing in return, you know.
Well, you know what I had to do with dealing with anger. I had to develop a strong sense of empathy.
Okay.
So instead of getting angry, I'll flip it, and I'll just let my empathy kick in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think about it. Like, this young lady was mad at me a minute ago. First of all, she's been renting an apartment for like 10 years.
Mm.
She never has a car,
Okay.
but she keep having babies like every 2 years.
Oh my.
You know what I'm saying? So when she got upset with me, I just didn't get upset back with her because I think about what she's going through.
Right.
Because obviously, you know, it's some mental health issues that she's not dealing with, you know? And I tried to talk to her about it, and she was just like, I'm not ready, Stacy. I just can't do that. Can you give me a few dollars?
Right.
You know what I'm
Get
saying?
on out my way.
Because I don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
And it's like, I feel so bad for her. You know, but it's like as soon as she get pissed off, she want to take it out on me because I'm the closest to her, you know, and I'm always trying to help her.
And you're kind.
Yes, and it's like I really have to let my empathy kick in because I look at her station in life.
Mm.
And for real, if I was you, I'd be mad at me too.
Right. Yeah.
But what you need to do is figure out how to deal with your situation. I always say handle your scandal.
Mm.
You know, rethink your decisions. But she don't want to hear that.
Right.
Because when I say something like that to her, she always say, oh, here you go with your psychology bullshit.
Mm. Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I always leave her in peace, you know, and tell her that I'm going to keep praying for her.
Yeah.
Because some people are just upset. I mean, just mad at the world. And I see so many young girls just mouth always poked out. And a lot of times they really think it's cute. And then they have kids. And then their kids have a bad attitude. They be like, oh, Junior's so spoiled. Look at him. That's not okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or look at little TT. She got an attitude just like her mama. That is not funny. Because you set little Junior and little TT up for failure. Because you won't get it together. You walking around here, you 30 years old, and you always got an attitude. I'm mad. I'm hard to get along with.
So what's the best way, in your opinion, to deal with anger and attitude problems?
I found the best way for me is to do my self-talk.
Okay.
Because sometimes I have to talk myself down from a cliff.
Yeah.
You know, especially like, number one example, those automated phone calls.
Mm.
Oh my God. And then, ooh, I'm telling you, I literally go have anxiety.
Right.
Especially when I'm telling you, please put a human representative on. Please put a human. My husband, he gets so frustrated. He be like, baby, they don't understand what you're saying. I'm just like, I can't keep doing this.
Right.
And then it's like, oh my God, the automated service, and the international call service. Like sometimes they're located in India, Bangladesh, the
Right.
Philippines. I mean, all over. First of all, those rolling R's, I can't understand it.
Yes, I
And
know
then
just
it's
what you
like,
mean.
and then it's like, they only paying these people $5 an hour, and they got a script of what they can say, and they really can't even help you. So I always ask for a manager or their supervisor.
Okay.
And then they always say, well, maybe I can help you. And I'm just like, no, but thank you. And it's just, I'm talking about, it's just, it really can take me from 0 to 100 real quick. And I know it should not be like that. But it does. That's something that really bothers me.
Yeah.
And so I have to do self-talk.
Okay.
I just tell myself, sometimes I'll do it out loud, sometimes I'll do it silently, but I'm like, Stacy, hang up the phone, call back later. You know what I'm saying? It's just not worth getting upset.
Right.
Look at you, your breathing is rapid. Hang up that phone, Stacy. Go find you something else to do. And then it's like, I love movies,
Okay.
you know, or I can just like go look out the back deck, you know, and my whole mood will change because I have to gauge what's pissing me off,
Right.
you know, and some of it don't be that serious, but
And it's usually not.
exactly,
Most of the time, it's us.
yes,
You know, someone, whether they're close to us or not, says something ridiculous or idiotic or offensive. We take offense. We get pissed off, and now we're mad and upset, and you know.
but it's like I'm not gonna stay mad. I don't care what nobody said because I'm gonna tell you, I feel like if you're mad and you stay mad and the person you're mad at has probably gone on about their little stupid ass business doing something not even paying you no attention, but you still mad at that person.
Right.
I feel like that's like drinking poison expecting somebody else to die. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like no, I just feel like I love myself today too much to let little stuff upset me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the little stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Life is
not
just
worth
too
it.
beautiful.
Oh my God, life is just too precious, especially after COVID.
It's an experience. Actually, it's the only game in town. That's what I put it.
Right,
You know what I mean? If you're not in it, you're gone.
right,
So this is the only game in town.
right.
Are you gonna win? Are you gonna enjoy it? You know, what are you gonna do with this gift? Because that's what it is. They call it the present, and it is a
Exactly.
present.
Right,
When you unwrap it, what are you gonna do?
right. So let me go on and do this. Kicking it with Steve and Stacy. You're watching live. Let me just get this paper turned around when I'm trying to read it backwards. You're watching Steve and Stacy, Kicking It with Steve and Stacy, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
Absolutely.
Carry on, sir.
Speaking about anger, ask the listeners, what do you do
Yes.
about your anger issues? Or when you get angry, what do you do? Do you have a pattern that you follow? You know, have you read something that's helped you over the years?
Call in and tell us.
Yeah.
The phone lines are open. The number is 313-355-6018. You know, one of my coping mechanisms, like when I really, really get pissed off, I'll like put some jazz on to get me a glass of wine,
Okay.
and then I'll just come up with a business plan. You know, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I got like so many different plans in my brain. It's
Right.
just like, so thinking about something positive, that really mellows me out and helps me. And then when you said that you placed something above your door when we were in,
Right.
you know, we had the little bulletin boards.
Okay.
So I would cut out, it was like almost like a vision board. I would have daily affirmations there, and I would say it every morning, like, You are beautiful. You
Okay.
are worthy. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
just, that's, it's just little stuff that we do, to just keep us on track. And there's nothing wrong with doing it. I tell young ladies, in the morning when you wake up, look in the mirror, even before you take your bonnet off, before you wash your face. Say, you are beautiful and you are worthy.
That's right.
I just feel like that's so important. And it's really important that we do it with our younger generation. Because
Yes.
so many of them are not getting that at
No,
home.
and they want to know. They
They
want to
definitely
learn.
want to know.
Excuse me. I've had youngsters approach me. Now, I used to be quite a ball player, basketball. Loved the sport. I might have been one of my first loves. And so when you're young, no matter where you are, if you love something and you're good at it, that's kind of what you do.
Yes.
So I'm playing ball, varsity or junior varsity, whatever. And so as I grew older, I still love the game, but you slow down, not as good. So these youngsters would catch me at the end of the court. I might be down here just practicing a few shots. No, I'm never going to play this game at that high level,
Right.
but I'm still enjoying
Right.
myself. And they ease down there and they say, hey, school or Unc, explain this to me.
Right.
How'd you get like this? And so I've always known or realized that they want to learn, they want to grow, they don't want to stay in the spot or the situation that they're in now, or else they wouldn't come up to you and ask you these questions.
Right.
They want to know. And so my gift to the kids, to the youngsters, is to read, learn, study, see yourself as who you want to be, and start working towards that. Just every day. Who do you want to be? How do you want to be? Do you want to be like this guy? I mean, a lot of inner city kids, they see the slick guys on the corner,
Right.
and they're like, shit, I'd rather be like that than my dad. My dad's working himself to death, and we eating peanut butter and jelly a little too much.
Right.
So they see old Slick Willie on the corner, balling, getting his own. He driving good,
Right.
looking good, and so they can relate to the goodness. They don't care how you get it. Let me get some. But oftentimes when they get caught up, they're like, oh, well, that doesn't work, or that didn't work.
Because Slick Willie didn't tell him about the consequences.
Look, when I realized that all the squares were at home enjoying themselves, I was like, what the hell? I'm slick.
Right.
I'm slick and I'm cool and I'm hip.
Mm,
But the square got my girl now.
period.
I said, oh, okay. So we got to change some things.
Exactly.
And I believe in my heart of hearts that most young people don't really want to be bad. They'll take it if that's all they can get,
I believe that as well.
but they don't want to be. And so today and every Wednesday is an opportunity for me to tell at least one of them that you don't have to be, man. There's a better way. And I'm here to show you or tell you, and I hope you get it.
Definitely.
Because leaving everything you love and going someplace that you abhor and come to hate is hell in itself.
Period.
And when you look at how many people don't make it back, they don't get to the other side of that fence again. Their lives are ruined. Their families' lives are ruined. And it's just about time for us to check out. So I'm going to say for one last time, you're watching Kicking It with Steve and Stacy Live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, subscribe, share, hit the subscribe button. And thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
And we'll see you next Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. where we'll have another exciting topic and we will kick it.
Absolutely. Now, did we talk about those tickets?
Oh no,
Okay.
the tickets are gone.
Okay.
Um,
Not a big deal. If we're still on the air, we were going to give a couple tickets to the Curry Boys ball, but they've been given away already. So sorry for your loss.